Hello, everybody. Welcome to Whirlwind. We got NsHoSeo.Brave as the blue Protoss up in the top left corner. And way across this whole huge map down in the bottom right, we have Karont3 Esports Club Lucifron as the green Terran.
Okay, so here we have Whirlwind. This is, I'm trying to get away from what you were talking about last time about introducing our new maps every time because people have probably seen them by now. But this is the biggest map we have. It can lend itself to very long games. We frequently see Command Center first or Nexus first here. In TVT, it's pretty much exclusively the case. We may not see command structures first for both our players here, but I would expect that one of them would.
All right, and you're probably right about that. We'll see as we continue on, but supply depot up at the top of the ramp for Lucifron. No sneakiness yet. Not going to be doing well. He's actually kind of slow on his depot. There he goes. It's done now, so he can get his SCVs out. Not building any 11 racks or anything like that to get started. Not really sure what we're going to be seeing out of Lucifron. I haven't really seen a ton of his TVP games. The one game of his that sticks out at all was the Mass Hellion game from Valencia. Yeah. So yeah, curious what we're going to be seeing from him for this matchup.
A lot in all matchups.
TVP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he'll fall back to a bio style more than likely, and he is actually bucking exactly what I said would happen and deciding to go after gas right after his barracks. That's going to get scouted, though, as this probe making its way out. However, the Brave at least saves my prediction and puts down a Nexus first.
Yep, Nexus first for Brave, and it's not going to be nearly as punishable as it could have been when Vortex scouted it out. Like I said, the proxy hatch yesterday is probably going to stick in my mind for a while, where Bly put a proxy hatch at Minigun's natural when Minigun went a Nexus first, so now I'm going to be scared of proxy hatches all the time in these games. But, of course, Lucifron is not going to drop a proxy hatch. He's going to do proxy planetary fortress, because that's what a man does.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Never mind.
Not possible.
I guess what he's going to do is put a factory down instead.
Yeah. He's got a reactor coming up, too, so he should be able to swap that over if he wants. Could indeed go right into Banshees, too, but he hasn't decided to put up his second gas quite yet. So well, I'm curious if he builds that as we move along. He'll have just enough gas for that starport as soon as the factory finishes.
Okay, so he'll be making some Hellions. It's just a matter of time until we find out how many. 16 Harvesters for Lucifron, 20 already for Brave, thanks to that lovely Chrono Boost ability on the Nexus. Protoss players always kind of shoot ahead in Harvesters, and of course it will continue to grow. That deficit will grow and grow and grow as this Nexus completes, and he'll be able to make 2 probes at a time and Chrono Boost them all out, just getting further and further ahead of Lucifron. So Lucifron needs to even those odds by making some Hellions and torching some of those probes.
Lucifron's making Hellions? No way! He could decide to make Uncloaked Banshees after this. He could also go for a big Hellion drop, which is pretty effective. Yeah. His opponent does have 24 workers out there, so there's a lot of targets for these Hellions to munch up.
Indeed, indeed. And is, I'm actually just checking out the thread right now. Not a lot of comments about Rio. No one really thinking that's alarming at all, or, they've got a huge roster. Verdi, Mikael, Alistor, Lol versus XD, all capable of taking games off of some of these players like Brave, but Rio is in. So I'm still a little bit curious how that's shaping up. But Lucifron in as the third player is also kind of strange, as you would expect Vortex or Lucifron to be one of the anchors for these teams. Either way, we got a medevac coming out for Lucifron to perhaps ferry those Hellions that we talked about earlier. Doing a drop could be really good for him. 2 more Hellions coming out now, so he's just going to continue making these Searing Spear vehicles. I'm never going to forget Searing Spear, by the way, either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
Because it was really good. Searing Spear.
No, of course. Yeah. I was just curious. I don't know if there was a story behind it. Because most people are like, oh, I'll never forget that card because it killed me very notably at this moment or something. We
talked about the Hellions were killing things with their Searing Spears, and I just really like that analogy, and now I just picture it every time I see a Hellion shoot.
Point taken.
Yeah.
Okay, so robotics facility coming up as Brave deciding to defend against this by putting up a good number of Stalkers off of 2 gates. And unfortunately for lucifron, this could be a dead medevac here. It is. So these Hellions are trapped. We'll see how much damage they can do.
Oh no, trapped in with the probes. Whatever will they do? They're going to kill a bunch of probes.
Yes.
And the Stalkers are not in a great position to be able to deal with this. 14 workers killed already. 16 workers killed. That's insane.
Yeah. Hey, so lucifron likes killing things with Hellions, if you haven't noticed that already. And he's reduced his opponent to 18 workers, so it was worth it. He teched up. He got his command center up and established, and he's not going to be behind an economy.
Yep. So he loses the medevac, and he says, "That's fine. You're trapped in here with me."
Yep.
And just takes out all the probes. So he's ahead on economy for the time being, getting that other command center situated. Now he will have even more opportunity to make SCVs, flipping over to an orbital command. Now he's actually not making any SCVs, even from his main. There it is. I was like, that's kind of weird. He's just giving up on production after dropping another base. Either way, a couple of Marines coming out right now. No more Hellions for the time being, adding on lots of barracks instead. Makes me think he's going to make that switch over to Marine tank.
Well, poor Hellion there comes up against a Stalker, and it's not going to last very long, so not going to last long against that firepower. Hellion backs away. 2 bunkers up at the front, though, full of Marines, and lucifron just moving over into Marines and Marauders.
All right, no big surprise anywhere. We've got another gateway being added on for Brave, another gas being added on. There's a robotics bay. Get some of that additional tech in, so he's going to see, or at least start on some traditional PVT build here. I don't see a Twilight Council anywhere, so no tech toward Templar just yet. Just gateway mix with Colossi. He will, be able to afford that extended thermal lance, spit out 1 Colossus at a time, and try to just win without anything crazy. We've got 1 observer from Brave checking everything out inside of lucifron's main as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to see pretty much everything unless lucifron's able to pick up on this. And is he moving back Marines? No. So this observer will go unchecked and gets a perfect read on everything, including the double engineering bays, the timing of all the add-ons, what upgrades are coming up, and the command center. So I'm not what upgrades. He can make educated guesses, though. He sees 2 tech labs working and knows that it's going to be stim and combat shields.
Yeah, what else? I mean, it's just Reaper speed, dude. That's all he ever wants is Reaper speed. That's lucifron's forte, right? Just mass Reaper all day, every day.
He knows what upgrades are coming up. Someone's going to be like, observers cannot detect what upgrades are coming out of structures. And I'm like, yes, I know this. We always get that person.
What wasn't it Oracle that had preordain or something like that? You could see what was actually being produced. That was scrapped quickly, let's say.
Yes.
It was kind of a dumb one, but that's okay. Sometimes you gotta get through the bad ideas to find the good ones. So we'll give Blizzard a little bit more time to work on Hard the Swarm before we're just mad at them all the time. Hopefully, there's a lot of negativity going on in StarCraft 2, but I think it's silly. Obviously, Blizzard they're gonna take their time with their product to make it a good one. I have full faith. I've played every Blizzard game that's come out in the last 15 years, so I don't think that's going to stop now.
And they did a pretty good job with StarCraft 2, folks. I know that there may be people with concerns, and certainly they're going to work on them, but, there's a North American and worldwide scene for StarCraft 2 like there never was for Brood War, so...
Yep,
hey.
And it's kind of funny, like, people are like, oh, Brood War lasted... 13 years or whatever. It's like, no other game in history, like no other PC game has lived up to that standard. So it's ludicrous to expect StarCraft 2 just because it shares the name to have the same kind of legacy, unless you make it for the game. If you guys put in, you'll get out what you put in. That's really what it stands up to.
All right, well, a couple more gateways finishing up. That's going to be a total of 6, I believe. Yeah, with that one done. And continued upgrades underway along with, he's doing the old trick, make a Colossus, get your opponent to produce a bunch of Vikings, and then go right into Charge Light Archon afterwards. Now, the problem is that he's already making the switch, and lucifron, he's made his medevacs. He's quite content with those. Looks like, he is biting a little bit, though, as we see a second starport being added on.
All right, with the Templar Archive finishing, Brave can actually just switch right into Charge Light Archon. We'll see if he wants to try and research Psystorm or something like that instead. Lucifron has not added on a Ghost Academy yet, has he?
He has not.
So that's something I would like to see out of him sometime soon, especially with Templar Tech already out there and Psystorm getting started.
He doesn't know that.
Yeah,
he only knows of the robotics bay,
true.
So that's what he's preparing for.
Yeah,
that's
I think I just always want ghosts against Protoss. I mean, worst case scenario, you're doing a ton of damage to their shields. Best case scenario, you're stopping those High Templar from storming everything. So
there are insane a number of forward pylons and observers out
That's
for Brave.
true.
He has got the map dotted. Great map control. Looks like I'm looking at a Zerg player there for a second with the way that
there's creep
was
everywhere.
Oh, God. 4 Vikings at a time being produced now as lucifron goes into +1 weapons. And as we know, there's only 1 Colossus. And doesn't even have range now.
Wow, that's quite a Colossus.
Yeah.
he's the bait for the Vikings. There's 4 being produced at a time, so I mean it's definitely going to work. And it doesn't look like lucifron is going to stop anytime soon. There's a Ghost Academy. All right. So a lucifron, you know, catching wind perhaps, or I don't know if he scanned or caught it at all, or just knows that this is around the time you would start seeing Templar instead of Colossi, just in case. He can have the Ghost ready. If he does have enough Vikings to take out Colossus, then he would expect Templar to be next anyway. So if he's comfortable with his Viking amount, that makes sense to get the Ghost Academy.
Problem is that landed Vikings are poo-poo against charge lots.
Yeah, they're not great.
They don't do anything, really. They take a couple of shots, and then they just get chewed up. So hopefully, lucifron is going to win the engagement convincingly enough, or at least he's hoping that he'll win the engagement convincingly enough that he's not going to need to turn those into ground units. But look at that. There's already 8 Templar. Most of those have Storm.
Yep, that's a lot of Templar already there. Charge is done. Archons can be formed right after Storm is dropped all over the place.
And he just canceled his last 4 Vikings and immediately produced 3 Ghosts.
That's good. At least he's, attentive. He's got enough Vikings to deal with what's on the field already, so definitely a good move there. 4 more gateways being added on for Brave, and he is going to have just a ton of warp-in potential as he gets closer and closer to lucifron's base.
And lucifron responds by putting down 5 more barracks and 3 more command centers, because you can never have enough command centers. Okay, well, a lot of Templar, like I said, making their way forward. Looks like the other ones are just, staying back at home, making sure no drops are going to catch them off guard. And Brave's going to start to attack here at the front. Our first few Ghosts are finished, I believe. Yeah, there's 3 of them out there. Oh, don't get caught out! Don't get caught out!
Okay. Very close there to getting just charge lotted down. These Vikings are ready to kill their 1 Colossus and then continue to be useless. Oh, look at this. We got Zealots in the mineral line. I did not even notice that. lucifron still has not been able to respond to it. Now sending a bunch of Marines and Marauders to try and get that out of his hair. But that was a good move by Brave, taking out some more workers. Let's look at workers lost. Remember that at the beginning of this game, lucifron got 16 workers destroyed by those Hellions pretty quickly. And now only 9 workers have been killed by Brave.
There are so many command centers out right now. 7 of them, as a matter of fact.
That's quite a few.
Yes. He's going to lift a couple of those, turn them into planetary fortresses, turn some of the rest into orbital commands, so we can sacrifice his. Oh, I mean, what he really wants to do is he wants to just stack minerals everywhere. Because if you have a fully saturated base and you throw meals down on top of that, they just stack. It's not like you're taking away from any of the SEV efficiency or anything like that. So. Yeah. And well, that warp prism did see this command center. In fact, everything.
The probe is sitting right there, and he's just checking it out, and he's going to go down pretty quickly. These Vikings still just searching for something to kill. They saw warp prism and said, "Where? Ooh, let's go. We got to do something. We're not going to be used for much else. So let's kill some warp prism." There is actually switching back to Colossus tech, and lucifron is building more Vikings now. So yeah, that's interesting. That's kind of a reversal back to what we started with, and still haven't really seen any great storms or anything like that. We've got Cloak coming out now for Ghosts, so that they can be a little bit more sneaky. And vehicle weapons, again, getting an upgrade along with +3 for both sides and their ground forces.
We are playing No Rush 20. Just wanted to throw that out there because it's about 20 minutes in. There hasn't been a true engagement yet. Looks like the Warp Prism will be torched, but not before lucifron has to pull all of his units out of position to respond to this.
Yep, some more denied mining time. The Zealots just want to hit something. They're going to run back and try and catch these SCVs as they return, but there is the bulk of lucifron's force ready and waiting to destroy those Zealots. We've got still a great number of Ghosts, actually 12 Ghosts. Great galloping Ghosts! There's 12 of them. He's got a dozen Ghosts. And then Brave, he's actually segmenting part of his army off right now. I'm not sure what contingent that is. Oh, just Zealots to try and deny some mining, apparently.
10 command centers now. They do provide a lot of utility, so there's certainly reason to have them. And the forward command center is actually getting killed. Not even, as Storms do drop back to try and pick off a couple of units. Feedback's hitting a couple of ghosts as well. Lucifron will be able to hold this off with the Planetary Fortress as long as he repairs it up, but there's another contingent of Zealots that's running through into the third.
Just as Moses handed down the 10 commandments, Lucifron is handing down the 10 command centers.
Yes.
Yeah. So
easy.
That was a pretty terrible joke. I was kind of, trying to decide if I even wanted to say it, but
no,
you said 10 command, and I instantly thought, oh, 10 commandments.
Glad you threw that out there.
Yeah. We tried it. You tried it. Not all of them can get above the Mendoza line.
That's right. That one did, though. You've recovered. All right, so Lucifron's actually taking a lot of damage back at home. He needs to not just win this engagement, but also start to do economic damage. Blink Stalker is actually appearing underneath all of the Vikings, and the Colossi are still out there in force, and Lucifron just got torched.
Not enough Vikings. Turns out stopping Viking production did not work out that great for him. Those Colossi were just superstars and murderlated all the ground units there of Lucifron. That was just brutal looking.
That was GG, and okay, so stay tuned because we've got some announcements. Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, we do actually. We're going to tell you how the Slayer situation is going to shake out. You guys knew going into this that Karont3 had already wrapped up their division, their group, so to speak. They didn't know if they were going to get first or second, but they knew that they did have the division, or at least they were moving into the up and downs. Mm-hmm. Apparently, only the brothers from Reno Duran were available for that match. They were just all defeated.
Yep, that's an all kill. That's the shortest IPTL all kill.
50 minutes.
Yep.
And
only 3 games.
We're actually done with the cast. Okay.
Yep.
So now, here are things. Here's how things are going to work out. So, if you guys want to know what the playoffs are going to look like. So, in the Premier Division, we know that we have Evil Geniuses going up against Startail, Incredible Miracle going up against MVP. They are in our championship bracket. They're playing for the top prize.
And all the money dollars.
That's right. Slayers finished third in Group A. They're dropping down, but they disbanded, so obviously they're out of the tournament. So, they end up playing the the second place team from Group B of Contender Division, who now, because of the all kill, is Karont3 Esports Club.
Terrific.
All right, so Karont3 Esports Club, they are going to be awarded the walkover, and they're going to make it into the Premier Division. They will not play their up and down match.
Yep. Okay. So that was a tough spot for NsHoSeo, right? Because they really wanted second, but that was not even a possibility. They were either going to get first or third. So too bad for them. Karont3 Esports says, all right, well, we'll move right in. We'll go into the Premier Division, whatever.
Okay.
It's all good.
So here's how the rest of it is going to shake up as well. So Team Liquid, they're actually going to now play NsHoSeo. All right. On the flip side of things, we have Prime is actually going to go up against Prime was third place in their group. They're going to go up against Complexity. FXO then is going to go up against TSL. So that's the other up and down matches for you guys. Prime Complexity.
FXO TSL.
FXO TSL.
FXO TSL could see some turnover. Complexity, I'm a little thinking Prime might have the edge there, but TSL FXO is going to be a really close one, I think.
So now you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, if Slayers is going through the up and down matches and they disbanded and Karont3 gets the spot in the Premier Division, what happens to Slayers' spots? Because they're in the Contender Division.
Yeah, they would be the newest contenders.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the third place teams from each of the divisions, which because NsHoSeo 1 is going to be Dignitas, they're going to go up against Team Acer. Mm-hmm. So Acer and Dignitas are going to have a playoff to see who gets that final Contender Division spot.
Yep. And I'm not sure when that's scheduled to broadcast, but that's what we're doing. We're giving Karont3 the walkover over Slayers and up and downs. Karont3, welcome to Premier Division. Awesome, good job. And then now Acer and Dignitas are the 2 third-place teams from Contender. They're going to play each other to try and stay in Contender. The loser will get reset back to the Amateur Division and have to play through that whole, single elimination bracket if they want to show up again 2 seasons from now.
That's right. So officially, obviously, Slayers disbanded, so they're out of the tournament. We know ATN Type and Type disbanded.
Disbanded.
So ATN Type is out, and Empire is actually officially out as well. And one of Dignitas versus Acer is going to drop out. One will stay in Contender Division. So, again, over the next few weeks leading up to IPL 5, we have a lot of broadcasting to do for you guys. We're going to do we have Fight Club on every Monday still. We have the Premier Division playoffs. We have the up and down matches, and we also have that GOM World Championship qualifier from EU and NA. And we were a little bit wrong on the intentions of GOM initially. There was some miscommunication. So what Naniwa and Stefano are still given seeds, but instead of picking 5 additional players, we are picking a total of 5. So only 3 players from those 16-man brackets will actually make it through. 2 from the EU, 1 from NA. So we're going to have those brackets for you guys over the next few weeks, too.
Yeah, unfortunate miscommunication there. Only 5 World All-Star people on the team. Naniwa and Stefano are included in the 5, not in addition to the 5. And that was just a miscommunication between IPL and GSL. So the players who would have gotten onto the World All-Star team through those qualifiers are still going to be awarded seeds at IPL 5 because, we don't want to, just be like, sorry, we screwed up. You can't go now. So they're still going to be able to play at IPL 5.
I want to point out something as well. We had the format for the tournament decided at the beginning of the season. We knew who was going to be, how things were going to shake up. We did not anticipate that Slayers would disband.
Of course.
And Bigration in the live report thread is saying, congratulations to Karont3 for getting all killed and making the Premier Division. Don't forget.
Same rules.
They won their first 2 matches. And this match was actually played a few days ago. It was actually before Slayers disbanded. So it's not like they were like, oh,
take advantage of a bad situation.
We're just going to lose, and we're going to... No, nothing like that at all. They actually had this happen before Slayers disbanded. So they actually were, I believe, because Frank notified teams of their playoff status and stuff like that before. Obviously, we didn't know anything about it, but... He let them know, and they would have anticipated, well, I guess we're going to play Slayers when this happens.
Right.
So,
yeah. So, I mean, don't blame Karont3 Esports. They just played the best they could. They did not have the players today to make a great showing against NsHoSeo, but they did beat Dignitas, and they beat, was it ATN Type or Empire? Empire.
Yeah.
So they beat some great teams, and they followed all the rules of our tournament. Definitely can't fault them. That's just unfortunate that Slayers disbands. Sometimes that's what happens. So but that's it for the cast. Thanks very much for sticking with us.
Yep, that is officially all, and the regular season of IPTL comes to a very weird end. But next week we start the playoffs. Next week we start the up and down matches. Next week, importantly as well, we start the GOM World Championship qualifiers. So we have very exciting programming coming to you guys over the next few weeks, and we hope you will join us. As a reminder to everyone, of course, check out everything about IPL 5 at IGN.com/IPL5. Everything from ticket sales to hotel room packages to our schedules for all of our games. Shoot Mania, StarCraft 2, and League of Legends are all there. If you're curious when GSL matches are going to go live, everything's there. If you're curious what players are going to be there, it's all contained at IGN.com/IPL5.
Yep, and just join us again on Monday for Fight Club. Again, that is going to be TSL Hyun versus former Slayers Brown. Very, very good Protoss player. And also tonight is GSL Code S championship between Startail Life and LGIM MVP. It's going to be a historical one, no matter what happens, because we could either have our youngest GSL champion of all time and shortest playing span aside from Fruit Dealer, I guess technically.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then and then the other side, we could have a 6th-time GSL Code S champion if MVP wins, which is insane.
All right, well, that's it for us tonight, guys. We will catch you again on Monday. It's going to be the former Slayers Brown going up against TSL Hyun in IPL Fight Club. So hope you guys will join us for that again at 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you later.
See ya.